Hi everyone, Professor Gil Fried here, also called Crowd Management Doctor, or you could call me Dr. Doom and Gloom, whatever you want. What we're going to be doing right now is going to be going over a case. This is a real case, one that was just resolved by a jury back in June 2022. So this is very recent, and it just goes to show the issues that are involved. So what we're going to be doing in this case study, as well as other case studies on this YouTube channel, is focusing in on covering the facts. Then we're going to stop and ask you a question or two. And the question or two are going to be things for you to think about. We want you to shut off the video, and I'm going to mention to shut off the video, and then to try to think about what might be the potential issues or facts or things like that. So pay very particular attention to the various facts we're going to be examining, because most cases are fact specific. Now, a lot of you might have seen different TV shows such as crime scene type of shows, Law and Order, all that kind of stuff, and you're looking for a smoking gun. Some cases we do not have a smoking gun. Some we might have many smoking guns. So understanding the facts and understanding what is important is going to be critical for you as you take a look at a real life case, and then you go and try to figure out what might have occurred and what might be real issues that you have to look at while you're actually managing your post, while you're serving as an usher, ticket taker, food service person, security, whatever you're doing, that you have it in the back of your mind saying, I remember a case where something happened. I don't want to be in any of these case studies. And that's my whole point here, is hopefully I could give you information that will prevent you from being a statistic in one of these case studies going forward. So with that, let's start. The case studies we're going to be covering right now is Cruz versus Anglada. So on June 9, 2018, the plaintiff Hilario Cruz attended a soccer match at the Great Bowl in Lodi, California. The game involved two legacy Mexican teams, Club America and Chivas. The plaintiff was trying to enter the Great Bowl when the gates were closed on fans due to the promoters' safety concerns. While close to the main entrance, the group which the plaintiff was walking with, which were all Americana supporters, were attacked by a group of Chivas supporters. The plaintiff lost an eye in this attack. Let's go over some critical facts. The game was advertised as starting at 5 o'clock, but the stadium doors actually opened at 12 for some preliminary youth soccer games. The plaintiff arrived at the parking lot across the street from the Great Bowl around 4 p.m. The plaintiff parked at a second parking lot where they were not charged, rather than another closer lot to the stadium where money was being collected to park there. There were no security or police officers seen in the parking lots. Before the fighting took place, there were numerous people in the street and the parking lot who looked like different violent types. This is not my testimony, it's testimony of the witnesses there. The promoter closed the front gate supposedly due to mechanical malfunction, but security personnel and witnesses testified that the gate was closed for safety reasons. The plaintiff saw people entering the stadium before they got to the gate, but the gate was closed before they could actually get in. So the plaintiff and their group were told to go to another entrance, and in fact were escorted part of the way there by someone identified as a staff member. That gate was locked. The group waited at that other gate for 10 to 15 minutes before realizing it was locked and wasn't going to be open, and they turned back to return to the main gate. When walking back with the group, and this around 80 people in the group, the fans were attacked by some Chivas fans who were traveling in the direction of the America fans from the paid parking lot. The Chivas fans were walking with various weapons, including bats, golf clubs, and sticks. Several witnesses testified that there were multiple rioters with PVC pipes and possibly flags on them. When the plaintiff, in this case Cruz, was attacked, a security guard was right there and did not intervene. The melee was so significant that when the police arrived, they waited for around 15 minutes until more reinforcements could arrive, as there were around 80 people fighting in the street. The police had identified hundreds of beer cans in the parking lot where the individuals were charged to park and from where the Chivas fans had emerged. Fans were drinking in the parking lot for we don't know how long before the game started, and the smell of marijuana was so strong that it could be smelled inside the stadium. In the application completed by the defendant and the promoter with the city of Lodi before the event, he wrote that the event would run from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., that there would be 50 estimated participants. They expected an attendance of 2,500 people. No alcohol was supposed to be served, and there would be unarmed security. They estimated there would be 14 security personnel that would be there, and they did not have an emergency action plan. The defendant promoter contracted with a standard security company to provide 12 uniformed security officers from 4 p.m. through 8 p.m., and he only finalized the contract with those officers 4 days before the event. The security company employees testified that 1, she was told it was a family soccer event. 2, they had never provided security before to the Great Bowl. 3, she assumed the event started at 4 p.m. And 4th, and the first time that she realized it started earlier was when she arrived at the stadium, because there already was a lot of people in the streets, a lot of people in the stadium. So security also heard about the fighting and the broken window, which started the big fight, from fans in the stands. The security company normally did not get involved in activity outside the event and did not have any guards in the parking lot. And the security company only had 1 security person posted at the main gate. One of the security guards there testified they had never worked before security at a soccer game. He had never worked at the Great Bowl before, where this happened in Lodi. He only spoke with the defendant promoter when they were at the stadium the day of the event, and that was around 4 p.m. The guard also said that the promoter, who had no security training experience, stationed all the security teams inside the stadium. Security did not give the order to close the gates. There was 1 security guard at the gate, but they were there to protect money. A security officer received a radio call that the front gate was being closed because of safety reasons due to the riot outside. The promoter did not provide security guards an opportunity to make any suggestions, and the guard's role was simply to observe and report, and that was only inside the stadium. The promoter testified that all those who worked the game were friends and family members. He also said that the 2,500 estimate for the crowd was used on the application was just a guess, and he did not know what the true number was. He had no experience with crowd management and control, and none of the workers had such training either. He did not anticipate a lot of people and was hoping to sell more tickets at the gate the day of the event. The only training the promoter gave to the people at the very beginning was a verbal location of where they should be. Security did not have walkie-talkies, so they used their cell phones. There were no job descriptions. Only 1 person was supposedly working the parking lot. There was no security in the parking lot. There was no police there. And part of that was because the city did not require it. There was no security outside the gate, and there were 4 security personnel at the gate. The promoter stayed inside behind the fence while the melee was going on outside. The promoter did not know about the intense rivalry between the 2 teams, and the promoter did not know about the violence that occurs at soccer matches all over the world, and which prompted the term soccer hooligans. The promoter did not tell security to cover parking lots, patrol the street, or go outside when the gates were closed. And the promoter only used 1 entrance, so when the gate was closed, there was no way to get in or to get out. Wow. Let's stop the video right now and let's see what issues you can spot. All right, hopefully you have come up with a list of some of the things that you were able to identify. Let's go to the first one. First issue is planning. There was no plan. The second issue is training. There was no training, none for the promoter, the staff, or security. Third is poor communication. There was no communication with key stakeholders. The city did not know everything, and given incorrect numbers, that's hard to plan for an event. Also, there's no communication with the police, no communication with the fans. There was nothing there, and you need that communication. Fourth is improper deployment of security. Security was not in the right places. There was no security in the streets, very little security because it's only 1 person in the parking lot. You need safety from the very beginning, so you need coverage there. Fifth, there was no pre-event meeting. You need a pre-event meeting to discuss what might occur at the game and what might be some of the potential problems. 6, there was improper action. Shutting a gate down is a horrible decision to undertake because it locked people outside who might need the safety and security of going inside, and also it locked people inside, and that is in fact a violation of the fire code. So there were a lot of stuff that's going on there. That's only some of the facts. There's also incorrect information on a form, not really having all the right information. That you just can't have that. The more communication you have, the more information you have, the better you can respond. I'm going to give you now another question to ponder. What do you think could be the possible claims that could be raised in such a case? I'll give you the answer right off the bat. You don't have to stop the video. It's negligence. Negligent security, negligent operation of venue, negligent event management. Negligence is the failure to act in an appropriate manner. And if you have an unsafe event, that could lead to a negligence claim. Now, sometimes you could use assumption of risk as a defense or some other potential defenses like immunity protection if you're a government agency. We're not going to go into that. The key thing to understand is that if you do things incorrectly, you could be held to a legal standard that is pretty high. That standard is, what would a reasonable person have done in that circumstance? That's called the reasonably prudent person standard. And if a reasonable event promoter would have done X, you have to do X as well, or as close to X as possible. But if you do Y, and Y is considered by a jury to be wholly inappropriate, you're going to be in trouble. So that is what possible claim could exist. The big question at the very end, though, is what happened. And to be quite blunt, it's called the ka-ching moment in lawsuits. That is when a jury comes back and says someone has to pay for it. In this case, the jury awarded $1.45 million for the plaintiff who lost their eye. You don't want to be involved in these kind of cases. It is very difficult. It is something that takes a lot of your time, effort, the facility management time and effort. It could affect cost of insurance going forward. It could affect whether or not even an event could be held in the future. There have been a number of cases over the years where games have been played without any fans because they felt it was too dangerous. And that happens in Europe. We don't want to see that in America. We want all of our games to go forward, and the only way we could do that is by you doing your job, being vigilant. If you see something, say something. If you have any concerns, raise it immediately to a supervisor. A supervisor should never, never, never get upset that you raised a security, safety, or issue or concern. Let's be safe out there, and let's keep our venues as safe as possible. Thanks a lot. Bye.